Welcome to this tutorial video in which I'll be leading you through the Update option on the menu of the Integral Members area. The first option on the menu is Update your country contacts, which allows you to edit, delete or add the correct person for other Integral members to contact if they want information about your work in a particular country. As Integral doesn't have any in-country work, Cedar Fund have very kindly allowed me to use their screens as an example throughout the video, so you'll see this information throughout the tutorial. And in case it's not already obvious, you'll only be able to see and change the records for your own organisation. And again, that applies to every screen throughout the update panel. So I can edit one of these entries should the contact for that country have changed. I can delete it totally if we've stopped working in that country, and I can also add the information for a new country if we've just started working there. Now, if you can't see your country contact listed in the drop-down list here, then you do need to add them to the system. You can do that by choosing this Add or Edit a Contact icon at the top of the page. You can see there are a number of fields to fill in on this page, but don't worry if you don't have all the information. The name and the email address are the most important fields, and do make sure you select Country Contact as well, so that when you come back to update your country contacts, they will in fact appear on this drop-down list. Due to data protection regulations in the EU, we'd ask that you do not add a colleague to the Integral database without first seeking and securing their permission. In all cases of newly added contacts, I'll be following up with them to seek their explicit consent, and if I can't get this from them, I will need to remove them from the database. I'd hate to waste your work, so do just ask their permission first. The next option on the Update panel is to update your countries, sectors and how you work. Now this screen has changed since last year, so please check all your entries carefully. We're now asking you to tell us not only whether you work with partners in that country, but whether you implement directly or have a country office. You can edit any of these rows in the normal way by selecting Edit. You can delete the row if you no longer work in that country. Again, you can add a row if it's a new country. Do check each row carefully and update it as needed. The next option on the Update panel is to update who you work with in a country. That allows you to edit or delete the partners that you work with. You can see that we list the country that you're working in and the partners, so there are a number of rows here for each country that you work in. If you can't see your partner in this drop-down list at the bottom and you're trying to add them, then you can do so by coming to Add New Partners, which is here at the bottom of the menu options on the Update panel. You can see we're asking for the partner's full name. There's also the option to add a short name, which is where you could enter an acronym if they use one. You'll need to specify what type of partner they are, choosing from Integral Member, International, NGO or local partner, and we've given you this handy key at the bottom of the page which differentiates between those three options. And we're also asking for the country of registration. You can specify the country they work in if they only work in one country, otherwise you can leave that blank if they work in a number of countries. So we just ask you to exercise caution on this page. We don't want to end up with 5 partners on our system who are actually one and the same organisation, but have just all been entered onto the database with slightly different spellings. So please be really sure your partner's not already on the list before adding a new partner. Remember, another Integral member who also has this partner may have loaded them as an acronym rather than their full name. So, for example, the Christian Centre for Community Development Support in Chad could be entered under their French name, which I'll spare you my bad pronunciation of, or under their acronym, which is CECADC. So I'd need to check all 3 of those possibilities on the list before I finally decide, no, they're not on the list and I want to add them as a new partner. And if you find your partners on the list, but perhaps the spelling is slightly incorrect or the acronym's wrong, you can make changes to how a partner is listed through this option on the Update panel, Update Global Partner List. And if you choose Grid Edit, that then allows you to make changes in any of these fields. But again, we'd just ask you to exercise caution when you make changes to the Global Partner List, being aware that other members may be using that partner for their own listings as well. The next option on the update panel is to update your organisation's information. You can load any of the missing information for your organisation or update anything that's changed since you last looked at the database. This information is available for other Alliance members to view under Members and then View Member Profiles. So if I come to view the details for Cedar Fund, you'll see that this information here matches the information on the Update Your Organisation's Info page. Again, it probably goes without saying you can only edit your own organisation's details. Finally, update the contacts for your organisation, which I came to briefly to show you how to add a new country contact, is the last page we'd like you to fully review. Please remove anybody who no longer works for your organisation. Perhaps you might need to make some changes to somebody's name if they've got married and their surname's changed, or maybe their job title has changed in this column. Perhaps they've got a promotion or moved into another role within your organisation. So just a note that you need to scroll along here at the bottom to see add, edit and delete for any of those entries. Do just check each row carefully and make changes to those as required. And just to explain that group contact means they belong to the IMG, the IPG or the board. Otherwise everybody else should be really a country contact. So that concludes the video on all these update options, which I've covered in a really quick way, but being a video, just feel free to go back and watch it again as many times as you need to complete each of these little menu options, and then let us know that you're finished. If you need any individual help, I'm also really happy to guide you through it. You can email me using this email in the footer of the website. And I wish you luck with your updates and have a lovely day. Bye for now.